Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I'm KageKaze, and we're back in Neverwinter doing part 2 of the Foundry quest that we're on. We are on the Lanaar Legacy, and it is part of the From the Shadows campaign. And if you remember the last act, we had just finished getting the information for our merchant friend, and we are going to go find the Lanaar mansion in the Tower District. So I've got the quest activated, and we have to leave the town in order to get there. So we'll follow our golden trail to the Tower District. So I like that these Foundry quests, as I mentioned before, scale with your level. I do like that you can set them up to whatever sub-instance you want. So of course you have to be careful with that, because some sub-instances require a decent amount of leveling. The Tower District is like the second or third place you end up going in the world. So having a Foundry quest here, it would not be detrimental even to lower level players. So we'll go along, we see that it's over here to the northeastern part of the map. So we'll just follow the wonderful sparkly trail. And I like this part as well. The first one has more conversation options. This second one is more combat oriented. There is conversation and information to be obtained about the story, but this is really more of the combat side of the module, and you'll see that as we move forward. So the quest actually takes us to this weary Neverwinter soldier. So as you can see, that's why these guys are standing around. This guy is made for questing, for Foundry quests, and over here, as I mentioned in the last one, you'll notice that sometimes there's these chests in the world. That's for turn-ins once the quest is done. So it's nice to see that the devs of the game were forward-thinking in that. The guard looks like he's had a rough day. His armor's in tatters, and he appears frustrated. As you approach, he gives you a friendly nod. "Hello there, Mallet Grayson. You haven't come to give us a hand with the orcs by any chance, have you?" "I'm afraid not. I'm trying to find the Lanaar mansion. It's supposed to be somewhere in this district." "The Lanaar mansion?" He chuckles, apparently mostly from frustration, then spreads his arms in a gesture of resignation. "This really isn't our lucky day, is it? We sealed off that street." "Sealed off? Why?" "The orcs made a mass offensive against us just a few hours ago, and they managed to push their way towards Meffer Street. That's where the Lanaar mansion is, in case you didn't already know. We sent in a troop of soldiers to chase the orcs off, but it all went south. Now we can barely get runners in there with messages to our own men. And both we and the orcs have set up barricades to keep each other in or out, whichever way you want to look at it. In any case, there's no going in that way, not even for someone like you." "Why did the orcs suddenly attack like that?" He shrugs. "It happens. They get bored or discover some kind of objective they'd like to hold. It's hard to tell. This is certainly not the first time they pulled a stunt like this, but it's just as frustrating every time. It's just unlucky for you they picked a target that you need to go to, I guess. Is there any other way for me to get there?" "Oh, I hope I didn't give you the impression that all hope was lost, did I?" He gives you a sly smirk. "It's not all that bad, really. You can't go to the direct route, but we've got a backup, and that's where we send our messengers after all." "Where is this backup route?" "Fortunately for us, the orcs haven't made any serious attempts to claim the sewers yet. Unfortunately for us, that means we have to spend a lot of time patrolling down the sewers. We've got a safe route to Meffer Street, which is kept under constant patrol. The easiest way down there is through that building." He points to the building right behind you. "Go down there and talk to Corporal Anver. He'll guide you in the right direction." "Thanks, you've been a great help." Alright, so in this building over here, we come behind, and there'll be a trap door that we have to go through wonderful sewers to get to the end. Ah, truly spacious sewers, and here we can talk to Corporal Anver. A heavily armed soldier, surrounded by his companions, holds up a hand in greeting. "Ah, an adventurer! They come in handy over at Meffer Street right now." He smiles and shakes your hand. "My name's Anver, Corporal Anver, if you're to be formal about it. Welcome to my domain." He gestures at the stinking sewage that he's standing right in the middle of. "Now what can I do for you?" "I need to get to Meffer Street right away." "Meffer Street? That won't be a problem at all." He seems to remember something. "Well, it might be a small problem, but you look like you'd be able to handle it." "What kind of problem are we talking about here?" Vermin patrols, mostly. These sewers are nasty enough on their own, but we're filled with all manner of nasty critters, too. Even if you don't count those damn flies. He swats at a big black fly that's been buzzing around his head for most of the conversation. What kind of critters? Well, rats, mostly. They crawl out of the brickwork when they're not looking. Had a pack show up about a short while ago down this here passage. Was just about to go back up to the surface and deliver my report about it and ask for reinforcements when you showed up. Think you can handle a few rats? Of course. Great. That maybe even keep a few extra soldiers alive for the real battles. Much appreciated. He reluctantly cast a glance at the nearby door gate. Of course, if you can get that thing open, you can bypass the were-rats altogether. Thing is, it's locked tight and we don't have the key. Feel free to have a look, though. We'd be grateful to have another passage open for us down here. Could save us some time in the future. I'll see what I can do. Excellent. In the meantime, I'll head up and deliver my report. You should find Corporal Maglin patrolling the sewer passage to the south. He'll be able to guide you the rest of the way. Good luck. And when you see Maglin, tell him that he owes me 5 copper after last night's round of dice. I'll do that. Thank you. Alright, so we have this door over here, and this is where we actually can start using our dungeoneering. I can skip a good chunk of this area here, and if I just go ahead and use this, the gate is securely locked, preventing passage south. This would be the most direct passage to your destination, if only you could get it to open. The alternative would be to take the long way. So as you can see, there's 2 options, thievery and dungeoneering. It makes me wonder if thievery would allow you to open this door, or if it would give you a message that even with your thievery that you couldn't. Here, I can investigate the lock mechanism with my dungeoneering. As suspected, the lock is secure, but the mechanism it's attached to is from a flawed design you've seen elsewhere in your travels. You pick up a nearby rock and hit the weak point of the mechanism a few times until you hear the sound of a metal pin snapping inside. That should do it. With a satisfying clunk, the gate unlocks. And so there we can bypass a good chunk and move on straight to the end. We're just going to go ahead and do that now. There will still be some combat, so I'm not avoiding combat altogether. Uh-oh, Corporal Maglin. He didn't make it. These guards are both dead, but there's no sign of whatever it was that killed them. The wounds don't look like they were made by were-rats. In fact, upon closer examination, you realize that there are teeth marks that look decidedly human. You're about to move on when you suddenly see one of them twitching, immediately followed by the other. The one you were looking at groans as the 2 of them stand up. Your feeling of relief that they were alive after all turns to horror when you realize that they're still dead, the flesh coming off their bones, their bodies animated by some foul power. Undead in Neverwinter sewers? Something's not right here. Even as you prepare to defend yourself, you hear the sound of footsteps further down the corridor. So here we have to fight off, unfortunately, former allies. They look a little too fresh to be undead, but I can forgive it. Probably don't have too many options for fresh-looking undead. Alright, let's take out these archers. Alright, let's get out of here. It's pretty dark down this tunnel. It's like another gate. Can we open this one? The gate's lock mechanism seems to have been rusted shut. It will never open again. Well, we need to move around then. Let's go this way. Looks like some zombies in my path. Not too bad. Looks like we can move on. Some more undead skeletons. Uh-oh, getting a little low on life. Let's go ahead and Actually block for a change, shall we? Good news is I'm actually finding enough potions to deal with the damage and heal myself over time. So, it's not like it's too bad. We're near the end of this first part. There's our ladder out of the sewers. Unfortunately, it won't be that easy. A battle white commander. He's got 2 buffs on him. This is quite different, actually, and I'm kind of glad that it is. So it looks like this module, much like the last one, has been updated. Previously, when trying to leave the sewers, you poor guy's stuck. You ran into instead of a battle white commander, it was a straight up white, the kind that summons additional minions. So she would summon like all sorts of skeletons, and because it's a closed-in spot and they were with additional mobs, it was actually quite difficult. Probably more so than it was intended to be, which is probably why it's a commander now instead. Alright, we're done and we can leave via the ladder. Assuming that it lets me. Okay. Oh, it's out of sight if I go too far. Alright. We've made it to the streets. See the mansion up ahead. You see here we've got a few soldiers fighting some orcs. Or ogre savage, huh? Thankfully this guy shouldn't be too difficult. He's being knocked around by the NPCs. He's being knocked all over the place, really. Alright, you should be low enough. Close enough. Alright, so we charge forward, and if we look at the map, we can actually see there's more to this place than what's up ahead. These guys are going to be hostile to me, though, of course. Let's go ahead and deal with these guys first. So we can continue to go over there to the right, but I'm going to save that. It's actually, it's pretty cool because it's a side mission. You do not have to do it. And it should make some further parts of the module a little easier if we do. You'll see what I mean once we move up and do the story. So coming up here we see there is another fireplace, so I can heal up, which is quite nice. The author is a bit generous with those, it seems. I'm very thankful for that. Sergeant Tovak. This heavily armed man bears the rank of Sergeant of the Neverwinter Guard. He is noticeably surprised when he sees you approach. "What's this? An adventurer come to our aid!" He steps forward and grabs your hand in a bear grip, shaking it with abandon while grinning like a fool. "You're a sight for sore eyes indeed. I'm Sergeant Tovak, and I'm in charge of this mess of an operation. As you can see, the situation is anything but under control." "Pleased to meet you, Sergeant. Your name is Malik Grayson, of course. We haven't met before, but I'm well aware of who you are. I saw you fight during the assault on Neverwinter, and Sergeant Knox told me your name. That was an impressive display of fighting, let me tell you." He's about to say something else when cries of "Orcs incoming!" from the soldiers ring through the air. As Tovak draws his weapon, he gives you a grim look. "We're about to lose this district, Malik Grayson. It's time to show these men what you can do. Help hold this position, and we'll give you all the aid we can." That's all he manages to say before war cries of angry orcs can be heard from the streets below. You steel your nerves as you prepare to hold back their advance. Now, there is a known issue with the module. As you can see, enemies spawn too close. It's because of a pathing bug with the game. Now, I believe this is supposed to be patched. Unfortunately, as of this recording, the Foundry has been down for quite a while for creators. So it probably just hasn't been added in yet. Either that, or he hasn't just been able to take that message out. Let's find out. Looks like, yep, they are coming in pretty close, but that's okay. We are going to deal with this rowdy groups of orcs who have taken to interrupting the good sergeant. Goodbye, Eye of Grumish. Whoa, more orcs. I can see what it means by spawning a bit close. Huh. My wolf certainly is not surviving too long, is he? Try and stay behind here. Yikes. Lots of hits for that guy. Alright, let's get rid of the Drudge. He doesn't have a lot of hit points. Oh dear. Ow. Unfortunately, that ability they do with the circle, doesn't matter if you block it, it'll still knock you down. Alright, let's just go ahead and finish this guy off. Now that he's alone, he won't be a big deal. These guys are certainly tough, and of course, being a tank, I'm mostly built with defense right now. But at least I can survive because I can knock him down, even if I can't kill him too quickly. There we go. He is down. Alright, and with that, let's go ahead and get a status report from Tovak. Sergeant Tovak is visibly relieved by having won against yet another orc attack. Victory! Yes! Gods, that feels good! He seems to gather himself somewhat, and gives your hand another firm shake. And it was all thanks to you, my friend. A timely rescue indeed. It was my pleasure. Getting to strike against the orcs in the heart of Neverwinter is a worthwhile cause. He gives a hearty laugh. A worthwhile cause indeed! If only 1 in 100 of our soldiers were as idealistic as you, Neverwinter would be a peaceful place right now. It's good to know that heroes such as you still exist out there, and they are on our side. It warms the heart of an old soldier. By the way, how did you get here in the first place? I assume you didn't come fight your way through the barricades, so you must have come through the sewers, am I right? Yes, I had to go through the sewers. He smiles. I thought as much. Did you talk to Corporal Maglund down there? How's he holding up? He lucked out and got the sewer duty this week. I know that sounds like a strange thing to consider luck, but compared to what we're facing up here, I'd take that stinking cesspit any day. Corporal Maglund is dead. I'm sorry. All color drains from his face in an instant, and his voice cracks as he speaks. What? Dead? How? There are undead in the sewers. Maglund was turned before I could intervene. I gave him his final rest. Tovak is clearly devastated by this news, and it takes him a few moments to find his voice again. And here I thought the situation couldn't get any worse. Undead? In the sewers of Neverwinter? This is no natural thing. Did you notice any kind of corruption? Anything that could indicate how Corporal Maglund got turned? No, there was nothing. There was corruption in the air, but I found no source of it. Very well. He sighs, looking very tired all of a sudden. If we survive this, I will deliver a report about the undead. Perhaps there will be enough manpower left to send someone to investigate. In any case, thank you for discovering this and letting me know. It's not welcome news, I can assure you of that. But it is honest news, and it is worth a lot in these troubled times. Forgive me, but I must pry some more. What is it you're doing here on Mepha Street in all this chaos? Did you truly come here to help us out, or is there something else? I would have come here to help regardless, but I must admit that my primary purpose today is to seek out the Lanaar Mansion. The Lanaar Mansion? Well, that makes things easy. And complicated. He gestures at the building right behind him. That's it! The Lanaar Mansion. Still looks the same as it always has. In other words, the good news is that you won't have to walk far. The bad news is, well, the reason we're holding out this position is because the orcs stormed the building a few hours ago. We decided to cut them off from their main forces by securing the exit. The mansion is crawling with unorganized orcs right now. Why haven't you assaulted the mansion? It would be an easier position to hold than the streets. Indeed, and that is why we haven't attacked. The orcs are holding it, and we're already weakened enough that we can't take that chance. I simply can't divert any forces to the mansion when there's open warfare in the streets. But... he suddenly lost in thought. But what? The orcs that attack Mepha Street are led by a huge example of their species, an orc that goes by the name of Gohog the Flame-Touched. It's his obsession with fire that has turned this district into a fiery hellhole today. If you could take him out, and then report back to me, this would reduce the pressure on street level considerably, perhaps even enough that I could send a few soldiers inside the mansion to help you. And what do you say? Can you take care of Gohog? So we can actually refuse help. The mansion will be more than enough on our own, but I'd like to go ahead and get some help from his forces. I'll see what I can do. Where do I find this Gohog? Tovak seems relieved that you're willing to help. He leads the forces that are attacking us, in person. You're likely to find him somewhere on Mepha Street. I start looking in the direction from which the orc assault came. I'll do that. You're about to turn away when a messenger suddenly comes running up to Sergeant Tovak with a sealed message in his hand. He bows his head and humbly hands it to Tovak, who takes it and unwraps it with haste. As he finishes reading the message, he turns to you with an incredulous look in his eye. Now this is an interesting coincidence. I just received an order from the high-up that clearly instructs me not to let anyone into the Lanaar mansion, not even my own men. What do you make of that? That is strange. It seems someone doesn't want anyone to poke around in there. It does seem that way. How very strange. Did anyone know you were coming here? Apart from my employer, nobody. Assuming that you're right, that must mean that this is a coincidence then. Even so, it is very peculiar. Who gave this order? It came from my superior officer, but it appears to have been relayed down from a higher position. In short, I don't really know. Does this mean you're going to stop me from entering? Sergeant Tovak looks at the letter one more time, is lost in thought for a few moments, and then folds the letter up and gives it back to the messenger, his expression fierce and commanding as he speaks. Soldier, by the time you delivered this letter to me, I had already sent my people inside. Is that understood? The messenger blinks in surprise. Tovak's voice growls even louder, despite him speaking through clenched teeth. I asked you if that was understood, soldier. It's a simple question. The messenger looks positively frightened as he nods and squeaks out a nervous, Yes, sir, before turning and running off. Tovak watches him run, then turns to you with a huge grin. Well, I guess that means you're free to go into the mansion whenever you like. Let me know if you kill Gohog, and I'll prepare some of my men to help you when you get inside. Well, thanks. I'll do that. Okay, so now I can actually go into the mansion myself if I so desire, or I can go and kill the orc that has been giving him some trouble. It would be in my best interest to kill this orc, as it will give me some allies inside the mansion and make it easier to explore, so we're going to go ahead and do that now. I'm especially interested to see if the encounter that is over here is a little bit different from the last time I played. Uh-oh. Alright, let's get out of the fire. Or not. Alright, knock him on his orcish arse. And finish it. Oh, wow. Survived with a sliver of health. So this is kind of an interesting map. I wonder if this map was pre-generated or if the author very specifically drew the streets in the way they are. It may have been a pre-generated map, but some of the obstacles that prevent you from moving have been added. I have to admit, I'm very interested in the Foundry. I just don't... that kind of stuff daunts me. I have no idea where to begin. I just don't think I'd be able to even create a square room properly. That's just me. I do enjoy the work of others, though, who have gone to the effort to learn the system. Alright, let's go ahead and I'm going to activate my health regeneration. Get a little bit of healing from these guys. This part's not too difficult. It's when we actually get to the orc that's causing trouble that this is going to be a bit harder. There is a monster back here that is unlike any I've encountered up in this at the level I'm at. He was certainly difficult. And I've heard you fight them more later down the line. There he is up ahead. We'll save my daily power for Gormish here. Or Golrog. Golrog? Golrog. Yeah, the flame touched. There he is. Now he's interesting in that he basically targets you with a AoE and it follows you, and then once it reaches a certain level it then activates. Once it hits that, once the circle shrinks to a certain point, it'll stop, and then that's how I can get out of it, as you can see there. Problem, of course, is with these flame callers that are by his side. It's kind of why I'm running away. I'm trying to get them off to the side so I can deal with them. Alright, let's knock him down. Ooh, jeez, I'm standing in lava. Bad. Alright, kill one. Barely have the other one. I'll go ahead and use a potion since one dropped. It would appear that the levels of the monsters are determined when you spawn into the instance. Uh-oh. Well, there's a downside to this wall being here. An item drop that I can't get to. Ruh-oh, Raggy. Alright. Let's resurrect my hound. Time to deal with the big guy. Ah, looks like it leaves a lingering AoE, so I'll have to pull out here. So yeah, he stays at level 42. Ah, he's immune to that one, huh? Let's see if I can knock him on his arse. At all. Nope. This fight is probably going to take a while. Just from my lack of damage. And having to constantly run out of his circle. So let's bring the circle back here so I can go back to him. That's like the best thing I can do, right? I can basically run away from him and then come back. That'll allow me to do plenty of damage to him. Yeah, he leaves lots of fire on the ground, so it's definitely a lot of moving that I have to do. So that's something you'll want to consider when deciding to try and take this submission. You do not have to fight this guy at all. He is completely optional. But I kind of like the challenge. I'll have to see what it's like to fight him with other characters. Of course, it makes me wonder what he would be like if I were to try and fight him at, say, level 10. And down he goes. And as you can see, the loot is really not that spectacular. I mean, he is a tough enemy, but the loot in these modules is driven purely by level, and they basically treat the monsters in the modules as just random monsters that you would be encountering in the world. So you can't really rely on fighting big monsters inside a module to give you good gear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to heal up, and then we'll go and talk back to Tolvac. Sergeant Tolvac looks up at you as you approach and gives you a brief but friendly nod.
Golrog is dead.
I killed him myself. He seems taken aback for a moment. Really? Not only did you help us hold their forces, but you took out their leader as well. Ha ha ha! You, my friend, are a godsend. Well, gone from certain defeat to the brink of victory in mere minutes, and it's all thanks to you. We still have some way to go before we can truly celebrate, but I can't even begin to tell you how pleased I am with this development. It was the least I could do to help. Ha! You're humble too. No need for that, friend. He produces a blank scroll, a feather pen, and a portable inkwell from a sack he carries in his belt, then proceeds to write something at the nearby field table while reading aloud. I, Sergeant Tovek, hereby declare that Malik Grayson has contributed enormously towards victory in the Tower District. Most of the rest of his mumbling is unintelligible. Be compensated for those heroic actions. There, all done. What's this then? It's a written statement, signed by me, confirming your actions here and requesting that you be properly compensated by the Neverwinter Militia. If I should die in here while you survive, just give this to someone in charge. They'll know what to do. So this is important for this module. The scroll he wrote is on the table and I have to pick it up. Unfortunately, it doesn't just give it to you from the conversation. Thanks, I appreciate it. Anyway, I seem to recall promising you reinforcements inside the mansion. Rest assured, I am a man of my word. I'll scout out the entrance. Meet me inside once you're ready. Don't forget the scroll now. He turns and barks a few orders to some of the nearby soldiers, leaving you to pick up the scroll on the table. And the Lanaar mansion has been taken over by orcs, as you can see by the barricades everywhere. And this, I think, is cool. I'm pretty sure a lot of this is... I mean, I recognize the interior structure, the catwalk and all that, but all the different stuff that's been thrown about, the bench here, for example, the skeletons hanging out, a lot of this has definitely been crafted individually with care, and that's pretty cool to see. So I'm going to try and make things easier on myself by clearing out the enemies up top before I go down low. People up top push the people down low. Bam. Alright, so we'll climb across. Uh-oh, looks like I've gotten the attention of some of the people down below. And they are starting to come up. We'll just have to deal with them. Huh! That's funny. Alright, let's go help out the wolf. Let's try and stand where I can get combat advantage here. Not easy when they're moving about. Oh, hey, a nightmare chest. Awesome. Alright, that's cleared out. Let's get these guys over here. Now this module is fairly large when it comes to exploration area and what you can look for in this mansion. And it's quite nice to see that. So you'll see a few alternative routes and whatnot. And once again, this module does make good use of dungeoneering, which I'm very happy because that was what the first module was kind of missing. The first module was kind of the storytelling, you going to the end. So dungeoneering really wasn't required there. I mean, you fought mostly in a field. So that's understandable. So now that we're actually doing the dungeon part of the module, it makes sense that dungeoneering will be part of it. So as we run up here, there's actually a book right here that I can't use yet. I think I need to talk to Tovak again here. Alright. Sergeant Tovak looks across the room with distaste. Didn't take them long to mess this place up, I see. A few hours and they've already made it look like the middle of an orc camp. Let's hope the rest of the mansion isn't quite as bad. So, here, if Tovak promised me reinforcements within the mansion, I'm supposed to select the first option, not the second. So, yeah, that's kind of an unfortunate thing that you have to go about these contrivances to get what you need, but at least the author knew that there was a problem with it and found a way to correct it. So, about those reinforcements you promised. Already taken care of. I ordered 3 groups of soldiers to sneak along the sides of the building and get inside any way they can to secure it from multiple directions. You might stumble upon them while exploring the mansion. They'll try to help you out as much as they can, but I'd appreciate it if you help them as well. Most of them are pretty green. I'll keep a lookout for them. I don't know what you're looking for in this place, and considering the order I received, I'd rather not have you tell me. Plausible deniability and all that. In any case, good luck. I'll head back outside and lead the counterattack against the orcs. If I survive, I'm sure we'll talk again in the future. Good luck to you too. Alright, so now we're in the mansion, and we have to look for something useful in the entrance hall. Alright, well, we've got this little journal here. It appears the first part of a book that has been torn into several pieces. You don't see the other parts anywhere. The book's title is The Lanaar Legacy, and appears to be a strange retelling of the history of the last Lanaar family. Alright, so, reading this book is useful to understand the plot of the campaign of From the Shadows. It's not required. In fact, I haven't read the whole thing. Apparently, it's quite lengthy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the book aside and we'll read it, so put it aside for Haven and we'll read it later. So I won't go over that. That'll obviously take a lot of time. So if you're interested in the book, by all means, try out the module. I definitely think it's worth it. And so far, the writing has seemed decent, so the book would probably be an interesting read. So you put the book in your backpack. It looks like it could be important. Maybe the other parts are elsewhere in the mansion. You decide to look for them. Alright, so now you can see on the map there's multiple areas that I have to search. I need to find parts 2, 3, and 4 of the Lanaar Legacy. I'm going to go to the right, because this is where my skills will come into play more obviously. So I've got a door, just a bunch of dredges. As you can see, this module is definitely filled to the brim with all sorts of nasty beasties to fight. So here I've got a crate that contains either books or bizarre, almost random looking items. If I had Arcana, I could take a look into it and possibly find something. So unfortunately I do not. So something still a little bit for everyone here. Let's continue on. Let's go into this door here. A couple axe throwers. And another Eye of Grumish. So you can see here, because I've spawned into a new area, the monsters in here have taken up level 43, as opposed to being 42 of the outside. So the module will change the levels of the monsters every time you zone into a new part of the instance. So moving in, we can see there's a door here that's been blocked off. I won't be able to get past that. Let's go here to the right. And there's a door here. The sign above the door reads, Household Guard Barracks. This must have been where the Lanaar family guards lived back when the mansion was still filled with activity. So I've got a couple options. If I were a thief, I could pick the lock. If I had the key, I could open it. Unfortunately, try to open the door, becomes the door is locked. Apparently the door is locked, so I can't do anything. But here is why I went right instead of left. There is a nice little hidden thing here. I didn't find this until a couple run-throughs. And I was kind of ashamed that I didn't find it, because it would have made my run so much easier. Your experience with construction and brickwork allows you to spot an irregularity in this wall. Giving it a prod, you notice that some of the bricks are loose. With a little work, you manage to pull out several of them, leaving a coffer of some kind in the dusty darkness behind. With the utmost care, you take the coffer and place it on the ground next to you. And so here we go. I can open this coffer, and this gives me the barracks key. So I can actually come up here, I can unlock the door with the barracks key, and we're good. So with dungeoneering, you can skip a lot of this, because this key that's hidden here is found elsewhere in the mansion as well. I believe further on the west side, so you'd have to go all the way back, and then back here again, in order to open that up. Normally, thankfully, Dungeoneering has helped me. So it looks like, wow, that's unfortunate. It looked like one of the guards that was sent in to help me through the quest that I did was here, but he died. I haven't seen that happen before. I wasn't expecting that. So that means I'm going to have to fight these guys by myself. That's really a shame because he was designed to be here to make this easier. And as you can see, 3 battle-tested orcs is kind of something of a pain to deal with. Alright, one down. Let's get out of that. Okay, 2 battle tested and an Eye of Grumsh. Grumsh? Yeah, it's Grumsh, isn't it? Alright. Doesn't matter what it is, it's gonna be dead soon. Alright, coming here into the right, we have found part 3 of the Lanaar Legacy. Let's go ahead and put it into my pack. As you see, that's kind of nice to be able to get here early because it saves me a little bit of a trip. So not a big deal. You don't have to have Dungeoneering to get in there. Again, you'll find a key later. In fact, I will run across it as we adventure here. Alright, nothing here. Let's move into the back. Some more battle-tested orcs here. Lots of blocking involved. Yeah, this place is not too friendly. Even if it does scale with level, it's not too friendly. Orcs are kind of a pain. But again, everything that I lose I've been getting back, so not a big deal. Can I go in this way? Nope, it appears that according to the plaque next to this door, it leads to the mansion's private library. I don't have thievery to pick the lock. I can't open it, so we continue on. Alright, that door is locked, so there's nothing we can do here. We will have to come back once we have found the appropriate key. So it looks like we'll still have to do a little bit of back and forth, but it's not that bad. I like that there are alternatives, you know, that again, the author has done you the courtesy of putting in several things to change up the way you experience the map, and you can get some shortcuts with the right sub-abilities. So good, another fire, another hearth to warm the soul. And we shall, let's go this way, actually, down the middle hall. There's a few things blocking the path, but let's go into the side rooms. Let's start with the right. Suppose that's supposed to be a hole in the ceiling. That's kind of a cool trick to make it look like the ceiling is collapsed. I believe that's the effect they're going for, because, you know, there's still the roof there, so you can kind of see through that illusion, but it's, you know, a good trick, and I think they did a good job of working with the tools that they had to try and show you what was happening there. You may have seen there, I kind of fell for a trap. Just kind of kill this guy first, and then I'll go back and look at it. So you see here, there's actually a saw trap in this room, so I kind of fell right for that. Let's see what's up here. Study door is locked tight. A small engraving reveals that the room behind the door is the manor study. Fortunately, I don't have thievery, so I'll have to leave it alone. Alright, into this room we have a dresser. Let's search it. And it would seem that we have the library key. Wow, look at that. There's just like rotting food on the beds and everything. These orcs have not treated this place kindly. Alright, then let's jump over this obstacle, shall we? Or can I? Oh, I can go around it. Or can I? Maybe not. Well, I tried. Oh, there we go. I got over. Oh, interesting. There's dredge in here now, where I came from. Alright, they're down. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next room. This one is empty. Doesn't appear to be anything special in here. It's always good to have rooms that are, you know, kind of inconspicuous. Just make you wonder if there's actually supposed to be anything there. And, of course, having empty rooms is a staple of a good module as well, because, you know, it lets you know that, hey, some of these rooms really weren't used. Not every room has to have a secret, has to have an item. So that's always good. Continuing on to the left, searching for parts 2 and 4 of the Lanaar Legacy. We're about halfway through this mansion so far. Alright, all gone. More orcs over here. Oish. These orc casters. It always feels good to be able to take my mace and just smash it into the side of an orcish skull. Neverwinter needs clearing of this orcish scum. Alright, found the next book, so we'll put it into the backpack. Looking around, oh, apparently I can use the window. And through the window you observe a group of orcs standing over the fallen bodies of a family of civilians. You realize that it's too late for you to intervene, but even as you consider this, guardsmen jump over a nearby fence and charge the orcs, chasing them around a corner and out of sight. Alright, we are good. Let's move on to the left here. Kind of just exploring all around. More orcs. More orcs everywhere. Here an orc, there an orc, everywhere an orc, 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 orc. Orcs, orcs, orc, orc. That's right, land on your arse, you damn beastie. I'll not be taking any of your orcish lip. You'll fall to my blade, and there'll be no more of you. So here we have a household guard's body, it looks like, on the table. And inspecting it, we find the barracks key. Now, I already have the barracks key. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is an alternative method of finding the key. It was what would have unlocked things over here on the other side. I've already gotten what I need over there, so we're going to move on. We still only need one more part of the Lanaar Legacy, part number 4. And we're working on that now. We need one more key, a key to the north. And then we should be able to find, at that point, the last book. I think my dog... I don't know. Ah! Recruits are fighting. Good, good, good. Nice to see that I have some reinforcements here. I think some of the other recruits that were supposed to be helping me died, and I'm kind of surprised by that. I wonder if there's a bug with that, because I remember having a bit more help last time when I asked for reinforcements. So, alright, I'm just going to explore the rest of it so you can kind of see the rest of this module. Okay, we already went through that, so this is the next place that we can go. And just to be safe, we're going to open up this door. Whoa! Hi! More traps. So as you see, going left and around is the safer route. If you try to go straight, you've got a couple traps to dodge. So going left and around gives you a key, and of course gives you a way to avoid traps. So that's the recommended route. So we go in here. And this is the library, so we can unlock it with the key that we found earlier. I see a trap. There it is. I'm going to try and keep them in it. Come on. Walk into the trap. Alright, I'm going to avoid the trap myself. Excellent. Alright, walking around the trap, and there's this crystal here, a glowing crystal. It's a floating in the air, emitting a hypnotic light, and unfortunately I don't have Arcana, so I can't really look at it to find out what that does. There's really a lot here that I want to come back to this module, and I want to look at what some of the changes are if you do other classes. Oh, we got an archer here. A dead archer. Okay. Yeah, something is definitely up with the NPCs. They were a lot more hardy before, and it seems like the health of NPCs for modules might have been reduced. Either that or the author himself did it to make it so that it wasn't too easy. Because they are certainly dying a lot more than they used to. Well, we'll take out this ogre savage. I'll use my healing daily, I think, when I can proc my additional damage. So I have an ability that basically does double damage when he's under 25% health. So I'm just waiting to be able to do that. Getting to that point now. So let's go ahead and do the daily healing. Knock him down, and then do a bunch of damage. And we can see my life bar just kind of skyrocketed. Good strategy for a Guardian fighter, I suppose. There we go. And he's down. So searching through the bookshelves. So I don't seem to have found anything here yet. There's something in here. Let's open up this door. And should I be surprised that there's more orcs? No, of course not, because this is technically an orcish stronghold at this point. Huzzah! We shall destroy these orcs, and we will not have too much of a problem with it, even if it takes just a little bit. That's quite alright. We will kill these guys in cold, orcish blood. Satisfying ring on that ability. Alright, so what have we here? Ah, looks like part 4, so we'll go ahead and put that in the pack. We found all 4 parts, so now we need to get to the study, which is in the center. And for that, I believe I still need a study key. So what's over here? You glance at the titles of the books around you. Among them are 101 Uses for Toadstool, Recognizing and Reversing Curses, and The Impossibility of Dragons, When Magic Trumps Science. You quickly realize that almost every book on this room is about the arcane arts. This would be quite the treasure to the right people. So can't do anything about that. Let's go into the next door here. And it looks like another crystal. And we're out. Apparently, there has been a bug fix. So what I remember of this module last time I played it was there was a bookshelf here that was knocked over, preventing progress. And the reason the author did it was because there was a bug in the armory or sorry, the Foundry. I keep calling it the Armory. There's a bug in the Foundry where if you had a door that was locked and you could open it from either side, it would bug out, not allowing you to unlock it. And so he basically made it so that you could only get through one door to make it easy and make it so that you can get through. So now that we're done here, we're going to go to the center. Do I have the key for it? Barracks key, library key. I may not need a key for the study. Let's find out as I go up to him. You approach the sturdy-looking double door, but even before you're able to reach it, it suddenly unlocks with a loud click. A gust of wind blows past you, and it almost feels as if you have a hand on your back, pushing you towards the room. Despite your misgivings, you can't help but feel that there's something important in there, something that you must see for yourself. You only need to open the now unlocked door. Pretty ominous that the door would unlock itself, so here we are in the study. Let's go ahead and read this book here. Almost every page in this book has been torn out, apparently by Lanaar, or someone else who wanted to hide the contents forever. Only a small part of one page remains, as if someone wanted you to read it. It says, "I have scoured every book in this library, yet none of them could illuminate the situation. None but one. The reanimated dead are the key to this puzzle. But what is their significance? I should descend into the crypts again to learn more, but I can't. I am loath to admit it, but every fiber of my being trembles with fear whenever I think of what I saw down there. The book is important. It is the key. How fitting, then, that I should use it for this purpose. At least I will never forget its significance this way. The book is the key." And with that, all sorts of books are now available to look at. We can see we have things like here, Mythologies of the Architect, and it'll let you know. Pretty much, each one will more than likely not let you do anything with it until you find the right one. So let's go ahead and get a little closer or farther away. How about this book? Can I use it? This book, History of the Nether Empire. So it's thick, increasingly dense volume. So basically, the idea is you have to find the key to this puzzle. So let's look at the books. Methods of Archaeology. We have History of the Nether Empire. What's that here? The Illustrated Guide to Chromatic Dragons. Winds of Magic, an alternative approach to spellcasting. The Jabberwocky, Myth or Reality. A biography of Kelvin Blackstaff Arnson. Mysteries of the Worm. Herbs and Flora of the Sword Coast. The Ashen Grimoire. Catalogue of Notable Demons and Archdemons. And Treatises on the Undead. And this is the one we need to use. Even before you touch the book, you are certain that it's the one you seek. As you attempt to take it from its shelf, it makes a small click, and the shelf starts to rumble. Within moments, the bookshelf has disappeared into the wall, the book with it, revealing a doorway where it used to be. For a brief instant, the sound of soft, malevolent laughter echoes through the study. You look around, but the source is nowhere to be seen. There is foul magic here, but you have no choice but to press on. Climb the stairs into the darkness below. And we found a hidden crypt with green fire lit on torches. We shall endeavor to scour into the crypt to find that which we seek. Whoever this person was in life, he appears to have been dead for a very long time. Even the metal in its shield and weapons has started to decay. As you gaze around the massive chamber with its dozens of ancient, dead warriors, one thought keeps repeating in your head. What is this place? With Dungeoneering, we can take a closer look at the skeleton. It's just a hunch, but you bend down to take a closer look at the skeleton's joint. A shiver travels down your spine when you notice the telltale signs of wear and tear along the joints, the kind of signs that indicate that the skeleton has moved after its death. These remains were at one point animated, perhaps even undead, but they are no longer moving. As you stand up again, you desperately hope that they will stay that way. So a little bit of foreshadowing if you have Dungeoneering. I'm sure many of you will know what will happen in this module. The warrior that was entombed within the sarcophagus is doomed to eternal anonymity. There is no plaque, no inscription, or any kind of indication of who he was. What did he do to deserve such a thing? To fade away into a hidden crypt unknown to history and forgotten by all? You can hardly imagine a worse fate. Moving onward, I give props to the module creator as you are given kind of a sense of unease as you progress deeper into the dungeon. With every turn, expecting that there might be undead, as you've been fighting a lot of orcs, and even undead in the sewers. But now, in a crypt, a place where logically there would be undead, everything is oddly quiet. This water looks like it has been here for decades, if not centuries. After being undisturbed for so long, it would probably be lethal to drink. How fitting that even the water in this crypt is dead, you think, as you move on. What is this place? It's huge. An antechamber. An inner sanctum. And another glowing crystal. What on earth? What is this then? A large magical crystal floats in front of you. Its purple light casting disturbing shadows on the walls. In the corner of your eye, as you see the shadows laughing at you, mocking you and turning into figments of your worst nightmares. Yet when you turn to look at them, they appear to be perfectly ordinary shadows. Shivering, you steel your nerves and approach the crystal. A dark, thundering voice, full of menace and loathing, fills the air around you. You look around for the source, but whatever it is that is speaking, you cannot see it.
That is far enough, Malik Grayson. Have you seen the things you wanted to see? Is your curiosity satisfied?
Where are you? Show yourself! The voice booms with such enormous force that you feel as if your ears are about to burst. It's all you can do to stop yourself from dropping to the floor in pain.
Silence! I am not here to answer your inane questions.
Then what do you want?
It was I who brought you here. It was I who compelled you to enter the crypts despite your misgivings. I did all of this because I wanted you to see the magnitude of the power you face. I wanted you to feel the fear before I kill you. But enough of this. I tire of this conversation already. It has been amusing to see you fumble in the dark. But now, I only wish to watch you die. Goodbye, Malik Grayson. I assure you, the pleasure was all yours.
As the voice fades away, you suddenly hear the sound of hundreds of undead digging their way out of the ground across the crypt. A chill goes through your spine as you realize that you only have moments to react before the creatures overwhelm you. There is nothing more here for you. Now you must get out of this crypt before it is too late. An author's note here. Fighting these undead will be next to impossible. You should flee to the exit while avoiding combat as much as possible. Now, I am glad that the author put in that note because it is very much true. I have tried to fight the author's wishes, and I did my best to fight off the undead, and I got through quite a few waves at first. It was quite a fight, but as you can see, lots of undead are kind of coming my way. I'm just kind of knocking them to the side. Oh dear. And what ended up happening is through multiple waves I eventually got to summoned minions, so I had wights that were fighting me and summoning more and more undead, and eventually I could barely even run away. I had to spam health potions while I tried to escape. I nearly died in doing so. I was at a sliver of health. So yes, running is the prudent choice in this instance. So we shall try and escape these rotters. Thankfully they are fairly simple creatures. And here the foreshadowing kicks in that skeleton was at one point animated. In fact, you can see the skeleton is gone. He is now reanimated once again. So we will run, and we will escape. So evil laughter rings in your ears as the monsters melt away, and so now it is once again quiet. And we can escape. The soldier breaks into a wide smile when he sees you. Would you look at that? It's the hero of the hour! What's going on? Haven't you heard? We took back Meffer Street. Those blasted orcs were either killed or fled, and we started putting out the worst of the fires. Sergeant Tovak fought his way clean through their forces, claiming that your intervention put the orcs off balance. Tovak says he owes you his life. I know the guy, and he doesn't say such things lightly. I say we owe you our gratitude. That was the least I could do for Neverwinter. Nevertheless, the brass insists that we compensate you for the help you gave us. We wouldn't be where we are today if it wasn't for your adventures. I know you're busy elsewhere, but before you leave, please have a look at the chest over there. He points towards his right side. You'll find your reward there. It's not much, but it's something. Well, thank you. No, thank you. We could use more people like you in this city. He gives you a quick salute as you turn to leave. And so once again, you're reminded that the reward in the chest is that of Cryptic and should not be indicative of the author's will. So you see we get a random item level 42, and so we'll accept it. And we're good here. I really think, once again, the module was very well done. You can only tip an author once, so I can't go ahead and tip him again. We'll just go ahead and rate it. And we're done. That is my 2 modules for the day, too, so I'll go ahead and get some Astral Diamonds for that. So, overall, this module, what did I think of it? Well, I liked it, obviously. Definitely good story-driven content. The author did his best to work around bugs and issues. And as you've heard from the commentary through the module, there were several things that actually got fixed once the module was updated. So the author is actively working on it. I'm kind of surprised there hasn't been the 3rd module yet, but again, the Foundry has been down lately. And the next module could possibly be quite big. As we've seen, the first and the second one, there is quite a bit difference in content size. So there you go. I think that was a very good module. I'm looking forward to part 3 when it comes out. And just to show off, since I didn't talk about it in the beginning, let's just real quick show you what module this is. This is part of Hidden Blade, which is actually from the Shadows. So Hidden Blade and Lanaar Legacy, parts 1 and 2 there. Again, really looking forward to more. Unfortunately, the author has only done these 2 so far and hasn't put out any more. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. This has been a run-through of a Foundry quest for Neverwinter, and it was quite fun to do. So please leave any feedback or comments, or maybe even requests at the bottom if you so desire. I will be reading them. I'll see you next time.